Hi, I'm Mark and welcome to Mark, my astrology channel. If you're a subscriber, then thank you very much. If not, I'd appreciate if you wouldn't mind hitting the button at the end of the video. Busy start to the month for you Cancerians because you have a new moon in your 10th house on the 1st. Now this new moon's in Aries as well. So what we're looking for here is constructive progress. The 10th house is about career, your standing in public, and also your destiny. So we're looking for progress to be made in these areas. Now with the new moon in Aries, it's very much a time to get things started. It's time to be a little bit more spontaneous. Take the initiative. This is what Aries is all about. And in the 10th house, this is regarding your career. It's a good time to develop self-mastery and anything like that that will benefit you. Now, we have two aspects on the same day, conjuncting the new moon. One is Chiron. Chiron will help you overcome past failures and give you renewed vigor. And if you get in touch with your intuition, this will help you greatly as well to overcome things and to make that progress. And then Mercury's there as well, so this is ideal for communicating with others. This is a time when you can get on along well with people, and this will help you and aid you in your progress in that 10th house. There are two other aspects on the same day as the new moon, not directly linked, but will have an effect. One is Saturn making an aspect to the moon's nose, and this lasts for 19 days, so you've got time to work with this. Now Saturn in this position wants you to slow down a bit, because the new moon is about impulsive Aries energy. It's about getting on and doing things, but you just need to tame it down a little bit. Use your Saturn control so you don't go blundering ahead too fast. Now with Saturn in the 8th house, there could be responsibility for other people's money or other people's finances. It may be that it's time to take on some of this responsibility. This could be to do with your work and to do with your progress we talked about. Now the other thing is the 5th and 8th houses are active houses. This is about your creative side, it's about your having fun and enjoying yourself. This may be what you've done in the past because the South Node is there, and this is what you maybe fall back on. But the North Node in the 11th house is about making progress, networking with others, enlisting the help of others. Now you don't need the help of others at this moment in time, but it would be advisable to enlist the help of others because they will be able to support you if nothing else. Now the other aspect is from Neptune to the moon's nodes. Now Neptune will bring an imagination and creativity to this, also a spiritual side of things. This is a good time to start to learn and understand, use your intuition, understand the more spiritual side of life. A few days into the Saturn aspect, and we have Mars steaming in. Now he's in the 8th house, he rules the 8th house, so he's very happy here and he wants to get on with things. The new moon in Aries has sparked him off and he wants to go full flight ahead. But Saturn is there to calm him down. Now maybe that you've got a couple of days here now where you need to just calm things down. You may get a bit frustrated, a bit irritated because Mars wants to move you forward, but just try and diffuse that. If you've got excess energy, channel it into exercise or some other project. Now with Mars in the 8th and the aspect to the node in the 11th house, it's very much about group activities as well. So it could be that you become or develop maybe leadership skills, and you maybe speak for a group or become actively involved in a group, and especially with Saturn in that area, could be that you become responsible for the finances of the group, maybe a treasurer, something like that. Now the other thing we have is Jupiter coming in as well. Jupiter will help to diffuse some of that Mars frustration and energy, because Jupiter makes an aspect to the nodes, the North Node, so let's bring positive people into your life. There'll be opportunities coming your way as well related to that 11th house, so your aims and goals need to be looked at, and also your connections and networking needs to be developed. On the 7th we have the biggest most spectacular aspect of the whole year. Jupiter and Neptune come together in Pisces, where they both have a vested interest. Neptune the ruler, Jupiter the co-ruler. Now for you, this is fantastic because this is happening in your 9th house, and this is the house of Jupiter as well. So this will focus things on the more spiritual, philosophical side of things. Also, you want to learn new things, take new things into your imagination will be fired up beyond belief. And if you work in a creative industry, then your creative juices will be flowing tremendously. Now, this aspect doesn't happen very often. The last time it happened in Pisces was in 1856, and this was a fantastic year. We had 4 future Nobel Prize winners born in that year. We had fantastic people like George Bernard Shaw, Telsa and Sigmund Freud, all born in that year. The influence of this aspect is tremendous. It will not only last over the next 11 days when it's acute, but it will have an influence throughout the whole year. Now the other thing is there'll be a cultural change. In 1856 the birth of blues music occurred, and there could be similar things that occur this time within television, film, writing, any of the arts. There'll be a quiet cultural revolution. Now we've had a bit of rebelliousness over the past few years with the other big planets, but these two are more gentle and things will be quiet. There'll be a revolution, but it will be very much more gentle. There's a lot more spiritual energy around, and this will help to heal people from what's happened over the last couple of years. And also with the influence in your 9th house, you'll have a thirst for knowledge. You'll have a thirst to learn and you'll be like a sponge. You want to enjoy things, but there'll also be a lot of opportunities come within that 9th house area. Maybe that you'll be travelling, maybe that you'll be going to university or college and taking up maybe a new profession. Between the 7th and the 10th, Mercury makes no fewer than 4 aspects. It makes an aspect to Saturn and Mars to start with, so it's time to look at those obligations and duties in the 10th house, get those sorted. Also, you'll be mentally very strong and alert, so you'll be able to have attention to detail and get things sorted. Then the other aspects to Pluto and the Black Moon, and this will be a time when you'll need to keep an open mind. Bear in mind that what other people say you may not agree with, but you need to just take it on board. But you'll be able to speak your own mind very clearly and very concisely, but just be a little bit more patient of others. And then on the 10th, Mercury will move into the 11th house, and the focus will then change from the career as the Sun will move over in 10 days time. Then the emphasis will be more on networking and your future goals, and also your group activities. On the 12th, we have another aspect that will help you to get things done and finished. This is the Sun making a positive aspect to Saturn. So this will really ground you, this one, and it will help you to focus with great self-discipline and really get on and achieve those tasks in that 10th house. Then a couple of days later, we have Mars making an aspect to the Black Moon Lilith, but both of these are at 29 degrees, so they are what we call anaretic. They lose their power, their force, their drive, and they can't wait to get into the next sign. So we won't get much out of this aspect at all because the interaction will be very minimal, but things will happen once they change sign and house. On the 16th, we have our full moon. Now this full moon is in Libra and it's at 26 degrees. Now 26 degrees Libra is a classical critical degree, and this will give great intensity and more power to the full moon. Now the full moon in Libra means you need to balance your needs with the needs of others. Over the last couple of weeks with the new moon in the 10th house of career, there's been a lot of focus on you and what you need to do and you getting on and achieving, but now with the full moon in Libra, it means it's time to balance the home, because this is the 4th house. So home and family have become more important now, and you need to devote some time to your domestic chores and tasks and spend some time with the family. And there may be some things that come up that will need your attention around the home, but try and keep the balance between your home and your career or your destined path and everything will be fine. On the 17th we have Mercury conjoining with Uranus. This always heightens the intellect. Mentally you'll be buzzing and you'll need stimulation. Venus also aspects the two, so it's a great time to immerse yourself in art or some kind of creative thing. Maybe go to an art gallery or go and watch a movie with friends, because this is happening in your 11th house, so it'd be good to spend time with friends on this day. Then on the 18th we have the Sun making an aspect to Pluto, but again these are both at the end of their degrees, so they're anoretic and they've lost their power. They're eager to get into the next sign, so this is not a good time to discuss things within relationships, because Pluto's in the 7th house. It's certainly a time to avoid any confrontation. Stave it off for a day so that the Sun can move on. On the 20th the Sun makes a positive aspect to the Black Moon Lilith. Now the Sun has now moved into Taurus and has gained his full power again. This is your 11th house. The Black Moon has now moved into your sign of Cancer and your 1st house. This is a time when you can show off your talents. You'll be very charismatic, and you'll be able to talk to people and influence people with your charm. Now with the Black Moon moving into the 1st house, it means that your identity is being renewed. Your sense of self has to be looked at, and you need to look at which parts of your personality you need to examine and which parts you can work on, so that people see a new you by the time you've worked on this over the next year. Now the other aspect on the 21st that comes in is Juno moving into Pisces. Now this is your fellow water sign, so this will affect you greatly, but it's also your 9th house. This is a time when your compassion will be great. This is a time when soulmates can arrive. It could be, because it's your 9th house, it could be a time when you actually travel and meet someone, or have a love affair with a place, a city or a town. It could be that you find unconditional love. But Juno travelling through Pisces is going to make it very creative as well. It's a good time to interact with people on your level, and so that you can have something mutually to be creative with, some shared interests. Between the 23rd and 27th, Mercury and Venus start to weave some magic, because Venus makes a conjunction with Neptune, it's in your 9th house, and Mercury makes a conjunction with the North Node, and this is in your 11th house. So this is a time when things can really happen, because Mercury can open that door that the North Node can provide, and Venus can bring forth something that's magical. Really, this is a time when a soulmate could appear. It could be someone from a different culture, because of the 9th house, from a different land. It could be someone also who's a friend already, because the North Node is in the 11th house. So it could be a friend or colleague who you know, but or it could be a complete stranger. Someone that comes in either of these areas will help to point you in the right direction, because it's time to transform your life now. Because we have another aspect on the 29th between Jupiter and Pluto. Now Pluto in that 7th house of relationships, so it means that the transformation is going to take place within relationships. Now if you're already in a relationship, then the transformation can take place within the existing relationship, and this can take it to a new level, a higher level, being the 9th house is involved. But it's a learning curve. It's things you need to understand, things you need to learn. This won't just happen for the sake of it. It's happening because you are evolving, you are learning. You need to embrace this and be ready for all the changes that are going to take place. On the 30th we have our second new moon. Now there's no astrological significance with this, because they're not happening in the same sign. But in years gone by, the pagans used to see the second new moon in a month, a black moon, that was very good for casting spells and doing rituals. Anyway, the second new moon is in Taurus, and this is in your 11th house, so you can see the concentration around that 11th house is getting quite intense for you this month. And this is the house of your hopes, dreams and desires for the future. This is the house where networking takes place and you can really gain progress through the help of others. Now, with this being conjunct the new moon being conjunct Uranus, there could be sudden changes happening here, and there'll be a lot of excitement generated by this new moon. Also, it's a solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, and this series belongs to the South North series, 6 North. So what we're looking at here is quite often there are connections with authority figures. Your relationship with authority figures may be highlighted here, and also the other aspect of this eclipse is that it may be that you're required to take responsibility, take control of something. Now, this could quite often be a group, because the 11th house is related to group activities, so it could be that you need to take some kind of role or leadership role within a group situation. Now, with this eclipse as well, with it being centered on Taurus, there's an earthy feel to it. So the senses will be completely highlighted, and everything will come through the senses. And also with Taurus as well, it brings a materialistic side to this new moon. So you have 2 weeks to work with this one, and we'll see what next month brings. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and if you'd like to leave a comment, I'd be glad to hear from you.